Welcome to this video where we are going to talk about building an outreach persona. Now let's be very honest. Usually an outreach persona means that you are building a personality that you are not to represent yourself online, and that may sound quite deceiving. So for example, George Watts here, he just doesn't exist. It's someone that we invented to outreach. Now that sounds very deceiving as I said, but it's also very useful for your business. And the reason why is because as you grow, you're most likely going to have other people doing your outreach. You're going to hire freelancers, you're going to hire employees eventually. And that means that they are building the relationships. And if they do it in their name, whenever they quit, whenever you fire them, or whenever for any other reason you're not working together anymore, then that means that these people take this relationship with them and you're left with not so much. It's very hard to pass on these relationships. It never is the same and so on. Whereas if you actually create an outreach persona and provide it to the person that outreach for you, that means that, well, sure, they have to start from scratch if they have to build relationships, but every single relationship that they build, you own because you own the persona. And that is a huge advantage. And outsourcing outreach would not be worth it if you actually didn't use it. So I understand it's a bit deceiving, but it's also something that I highly recommend you guys do actually. So let's talk about building one of these personas. The first thing I recommend is that you create a Gmail address or a Google Apps domain name address. So for example, on Authority Hacker, maybe that would be george@authorityhacker.com. And that makes it way more professional. If you outreach from a Gmail address, it's very amateurish, guys. So there's the more premium way to do it, which is to get a Google Apps account. If you guys use Google Apps, it's $5 a month and you get Google Drive, you get Gmail, etc. And it's pretty easy to install. Or you can register a free Gmail and then go inside Gmail, you go into your settings, and then here you can actually add some more accounts and basically link the email addresses so you can email as that persona from Gmail, and that's going to be a domain email address. So it's the free way to do that. I promised everything would be free in this blueprint. We're going to keep doing that. So yeah, you can do it for free, no problem. Then once you have your Gmail address, well, you can start registering on social media. And what I recommend is that you make at least a Facebook profile and a Twitter profile. And now that means you need to invent a bit of a backstory for your persona. So you can see this one is from California, lives in Budapest, studied law, and works at Morgan Stanley. And one thing that is quite important as well in terms of the backstory is that you decide a niche that your persona is going to focus on. Obviously, if you're running your own site, you only focus on one or two niches, so it's pretty easy. That persona was more finance, but it really works better when you actually focus and say, well, that's what I'm about. I'm about business and finance. In that case, that's what happened. Then we got a few friends. A lot of people would just randomly friend you anyway, so it's pretty easy to build it up. And then Twitter. Twitter is actually important. Facebook, not so much, because you could just hide everything and pretend you're a very private person. But what is quite important is your Twitter, because Twitter is public and people will check you out when you outreach to them and so on. So you want to build up something that looks pretty decent. So what I recommend is that once you have your Facebook and Twitter, you actually register a free Hootsuite account. It's free again, and it's going to allow you to share stuff very easily. You will have this little Hootlet in your Chrome. I'm going to put a link to all of that below. And then you'll be able to share stuff really quickly, and it's going to make things very simple for you. So once we have that, well, we need to actually build up this Twitter profile a bit and look like we're a real person. So what we're going to do is we're going to register a free BuzzSumo account. And I'm on the dashboard right now, but you can take a 2 weeks free trial. 2 weeks is enough. As you can see, I am on a free trial here, 13 days left. I don't want to really pay for BuzzSumo. So that's basically what I would recommend. Now, what you want to do first is you want to start sharing some content. So you want to build up basically this feed so that people want to follow you. They see what you're about. Once again, you want to share content that does well in your niche, that is about what you do. In that case, business and finance. So maybe I would go in my content research to finance, find some cool content. And basically, if you actually link your Twitter, which I didn't do here, you can actually just share stuff right from here inside from BuzzSumo. But you can see they add a via at BuzzSumo, so I would just remove that actually. And I would just like tweet that, for example. So you can just find popular content with BuzzSumo really quickly, share a bunch, build up your timeline, and it's pretty easy to do that, right? And if you want to share only guest posts or whatever, you can start doing that. And that's an easy way to build up your timeline. You don't need to overdo that. And that really establishes your profile together with your little bio here. It's going to show that what you're about, and that's quite important. Now, once you've done that, once you've shared a bunch of stuff, you have maybe like 20 shares. What you want to do is you want to start following people in the niche that you're going for, so that some of them follow you back, you build a bit of a follower count, and you get a bit of reach as well, because that's going to be important when people check you out. So what you want to do is you go into influencers. Same thing, you can just search finance. Obviously, this is very vague. I recommend you take something a little bit more narrow, but basically you can actually follow people from inside BuzzSumo as well. So I'll go like boom, 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 follow people, follow maybe 100, 200 even. You can go at the beginning. Some of these people will follow you back, and you will be able to get a bit of reach and have a Twitter profile that looks, definitely not popular, but respectable. And that's all you want. You want something that's like, okay, this guy, is active in this niche. And that's basically the first step. Now, once you have that, what you want to do is you want to go in Gravatar. Gravatar is the image that you see in blog comments and that kind of stuff. So you can see on authorityhacker.com, for example, you can see Vix is commenting and you can see his picture. It makes him look way more legit. I'm telling you, when I moderate comments and there's no picture, there's a lot of chances I'm not going to approve your comments. Like, unless the comment is really related to what we're doing, if it's a generic comment with no picture, there's no way people would be approved. And you look way more legit. You can see Vix looks way more legit than Matt here. He looks more than like Website Police, etc. Like, all these guys don't look nearly as legit as Vix. So if you want to look legit, go on gravatar.com, go in my profile, register with your email address, obviously, first. Go in my profile, and then here you can go in photo gallery, and then you can add images. And that's basically your Gravatar. And when you're going to be commenting and using your email address, it's going to show this picture. And that's how you look way more legit. That's all this is about. Now, another cool little trick I highly recommend you run is this little Chrome extension called Follower. And basically what it does is you just put a bunch of keywords, which in my case is online marketing for Authority Hacker. And when you're logged into your Twitter account, every hour, I think, it's just going to be finding a bunch of tweets related to these things and just liking it, like, putting the little star on a tweet. So this little heart now actually just changed. And then that basically sends a notification to people that did that, and a bunch of these people just follow you back, and over time you're gonna gain some followers. So that's a very, very easy way to passively grow follower count and grow your persona. And finally, all I recommend is, as you're doing your prospecting that we're going to talk about in the next lessons, you have this Hootsuite button just around here, and you can just click it. So whenever you find a cool article, so like, you're basically gonna find some stuff in BuzzSumo actually, and maybe this Business Insider article is interesting and would be related, makes you look smart and so on, then just press that button and basically start tweeting that stuff so that it looks like you are up to date, you keep sharing stuff in the industry, and it's quite interesting. So yeah, just do that and you're gonna be able to have a decent looking persona. So that's basically it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in the next video.